Chosen one, stop what you are doing and listen with your whole spirit. This did not reach you to frighten you, it reached you to protect you. Someone around your atmosphere has been moving strangely, and heaven has allowed you to feel the disturbance before the damage could touch your peace. Do not ignore this weight. Do not explain it away. You have felt it in your chest. You have felt it in your sleep. And even when the room was quiet, something inside you kept whispering that one person near your life was not carrying clean intentions toward you. This is not a call to panic. This is a call to discern. You are not being told this so you can chase anyone, accuse anyone, or step into confusion. You are being told this because a chosen one must learn the difference between fear that torments and warning that protects. Listen carefully. The person heaven is warning you about may not look dangerous. They may not come with anger. They may come with softness. They may come with concern. They may come with a sudden message, a casual invitation, or a familiar tone that makes you lower your guard before your spirit gives permission. That is why this message had to find you now. You have been feeling something for a reason. The strange silence was not empty. The delay was not random. And the heaviness that arrived after one name, one face, or one conversation was not your imagination trying to punish you. Your spirit has been noticing what your mind kept trying to excuse. Your body has been reacting before your mouth had words. Your peace has been changing around certain people. And deep down, you already know that not every person who smiles near your future is happy that you still have one. Some of you woke up before sunrise with a pressure you could not explain. Some of you checked your phone and felt nothing but dread. Some of you saw a name appear and your stomach tightened. That was not weakness. That was your inner watchman standing at the gate before the enemy could cross it. Chosen one, I need you to understand this. Every attack against you does not begin with noise. Sometimes it begins with a sweet sentence. Sometimes it begins with someone pretending they miss you. And sometimes it begins with a person studying your kindness so they can learn where to place the sting of betrayal. But do not be afraid. The betrayal will not define you. The plot will not own you. The hidden conversation will not bury your calling. What they planned in shadow is already being exposed by light, because heaven does not warn you late when your obedience is needed early. You are not paranoid. You are not too sensitive. You are not creating problems from nothing. You are a watchman, and watchmen feel pressure at the gate before ordinary eyes see movement on the road. That is why you have been uneasy around what everyone else calls harmless. The first sign is not what they say. The first sign is what leaves you after they speak. Do you lose peace? Do you lose clarity? Do you feel small again? Do you suddenly question the healing you fought so hard to receive after one short exchange with them? That is how you know a counterfeit presence is near your atmosphere. It does not always shout. It drains. It does not always threaten. It confuses. And it does not always attack your body, because the real target is your peace, your timing, your focus, and your assignment. Someone has been watching the change in you. They noticed when you stopped begging. They noticed when your silence became stronger. They noticed when you no longer explained yourself to people who only listened to twist your words. And now, the same access they once had is no longer easy. That is what stirred the plan. Not your failure, your growth, not your weakness, your light, not your loneliness, your separation. The enemy hates when a chosen one stops leaking energy into rooms that never honored the oil they were carrying. The second sign is sudden warmth from a place that once left you cold. Be careful when someone who ignored your tears begins asking for access after your spirit becomes stronger. Be careful when the apology comes with no fruit. Be careful when the invitation feels peaceful to your ears but heavy to your soul. You are not required to reopen a door just because someone knocks softly. You are not required to answer a message just because it sounds polite. And you are not required to mistake guilt for guidance, because guilt will rush you, but the Spirit will lead you with clarity. There is a difference between forgiveness and access. Forgiveness cleans your heart. Access opens your gate. You can release the offense and still refuse the doorway. And this is where many chosen ones get tested, because they confuse a clean heart with an unguarded life. This is why your sleep has been interrupted. This is why your dreams have felt strange. This is why certain memories have returned without invitation. Heaven has been letting the buried pattern rise, so you would not call the same chain a blessing when it comes wrapped in a softer voice. Your atmosphere is being guarded. Your next season is being prepared. And before a door opens, heaven often reveals the voice that would try to follow you through it. This is not because you are hated by heaven. This is because you are too valuable to be careless with access. Ask yourself this: who leaves you confused after speaking with them? Who makes you feel guilty for having peace? Who becomes uncomfortable when you set a boundary? And who only returns when they sense you are about to become unreachable to the version of them that once controlled your emotions? Do not answer quickly. Let your spirit speak. The name may not come through fear. It may come through clarity. It may feel quiet, firm, and undeniable. And when it does, do not argue with the warning just because your heart still remembers the good moments. The third sign is accusation after elevation. When you rise, they call you proud. When you get quiet, they call you cold. When you set boundaries, they call you difficult. And when you choose peace, they act like your peace is an attack against them. That is why you must stay still. Do not rush. Do not chase proof. Do not send the long message. Do not defend yourself to ears that already chose a version of you they could control. The protection over you is strongest when your spirit stays aligned and your mouth refuses bait. Soon, you will understand why the most dangerous person in this season is not the one who hates you loudly. It is the one who approaches quietly, carrying the exact key that used to open your compassion. And in the next part, you will see why the attack is not really against you, but against the assignment heaven placed inside you. Chosen one. Now hear this with a calm spirit. The attack is not really against your body. It is not even against your name. It is against your assignment, your peace, your clarity, and the open door heaven has been preparing while you were learning how to stay silent. That person may think they are only reacting to you. They may think they are jealous, offended, disappointed, or misunderstood. But beneath the surface, something darker is trying to use their wound as an opening, because the enemy studies every unhealed place around a chosen one. This is why you cannot make this personal. If you make it personal, you will react. If you react, you will leak power. And if you leak power, you will give away the very strength heaven has been teaching you to guard in this season. That is why your kindness is holy, but your access must be guarded. Your mercy is beautiful, but your boundary is necessary. And in this season, heaven is not asking you to become hard, it is teaching you to become wise. The enemy knows you do not like conflict. The enemy knows you try to see the good in people. The enemy knows you will blame yourself before you blame someone else. So the plan is not to defeat you with force, but to exhaust you with guilt until you open a door heaven already closed. This is the trap. Someone may approach you as if nothing happened. Someone may speak softly enough to make you question your own memory. Someone may offer peace without repentance, and if your discernment is clouded, you may confuse their tone with transformation. But listen closely. A soft voice is not always a healed heart. A polite message is not always a divine sign. And a familiar person is not always a safe person, especially when their return pulls you back into a version of yourself that heaven already delivered you from. The attack is against your assignment, because your assignment requires focus. It requires clean hearing. It requires emotional sobriety. And if the enemy cannot stop the door from opening, it will try to make sure you are too distracted, too wounded, or too confused to walk through it. That is why small disturbances have felt so large lately. One message ruins your whole morning. One memory breaks your rhythm. One conversation makes you feel like you moved backward by years, and you start wondering why your peace feels so fragile around certain people. Your peace is not fragile. Their access is dangerous. There is a difference. Peace can be strong and still alert you when something unclean steps near the gate. Discernment does not always roar. Sometimes it simply removes ease from the room. Chosen one, your spirit knows when a connection has expired. Your mind may argue, your heart may remember, your loyalty may try to negotiate. But your spirit knows, and it has been warning you that what once felt familiar may now be a doorway into delay. That is why the person planning to hurt you does not need to destroy everything. They only need to pull you into one old conversation. They only need to make you defend yourself again. They only need to touch the part of you that still wants to be understood by those committed to misunderstanding you. But this time, you will not bow to that need. You will not chase closure from a closed heart. You will not beg for honesty from someone who benefits from confusion. And you will not trade your next level for a temporary feeling of being chosen by the wrong person. Heaven is showing you something deeper. The plan against you is being exposed before it matures. The trap is being revealed before it closes. And the hidden motive is losing strength because you are finally willing to trust the warning without needing every detail explained. This is where your identity must rise. You are not just a wounded person trying to survive another betrayal. You are a spiritual warrior, learning how to protect holy ground. You are a watchman, learning how to recognize movement in the dark before the village wakes up. You are also a cycle breaker. That means you cannot keep responding the way your old self responded. You cannot keep proving your heart to people who use your softness as permission. And you cannot keep confusing spiritual maturity with unlimited access to your life. Some of you were trained to feel guilty for having boundaries. You were taught that love means always answering. You were taught that forgiveness means immediate closeness. But heaven is correcting that false teaching now, because a clean heart does not require an open gate. You can bless someone and still step back. You can forgive someone and still refuse the pattern. You can pray for someone and still block the entrance. And you can love with purity while no longer volunteering to be the place where their darkness comes to rest. This is not bitterness. This is alignment. This is not fear. This is obedience. And this is not rejection of them. It is protection of what heaven placed in you before they ever entered your story. Now I need you to hear the next part carefully, because it matters for this season. Many chosen ones are not spiritually weak. They are mentally overloaded. Their spirit is alert, but their mind is noisy. And when the mind is noisy, even a true warning can feel like anxiety. That is why clarity is not a luxury for you. It is protection. There is a 7-minute audio called The Genius Song that I will speak about more deeply later, because it was created to help the mind return toward the gamma clarity. Many chosen people carried naturally before life buried it under noise. Do not leave this message just because I mentioned it. Stay with the teaching first. The tool only matters after you understand the battle. But remember this, when the enemy wants to hurt a chosen one, it often begins by fogging the mind before it touches the path. That is why they become restless. That is why they test your boundary. That is why they send one harmless-looking message. They are not always conscious of the whole plan, but the spirit behind the pattern knows exactly what it is trying to interrupt. This is the new instruction. Watch the fruit. Watch the timing. Watch what happens inside your spirit after contact. If their presence makes you abandon peace, shrink your voice, doubt your growth, or replay old pain, then heaven is not asking you to study them longer. Heaven is asking you to guard the gate, not with rage, not with suspicion, not with public accusation. Guard it with silence, clarity, prayer, and obedience. The enemy wants a reaction, but heaven is asking for discipline. This is why the next part is so important. You need to understand how heaven has always warned the chosen before betrayal, before reversal, before a counterfeit door, and before a familiar voice tried to interrupt a divine assignment. Because once you see the pattern in Scripture, you will stop calling your discernment fear. Chosen one, now you need a deeper lens. This pattern is not new. Heaven has always warned the chosen before the trap became visible, because divine protection often arrives first as pressure, unease, silence, or a sudden knowing that refuses to leave. This is why you must stop dismissing the signal. You are not the first one to feel danger before proof appears. You are not the first one to sense betrayal before words confirm it. And you are not the first one to be called too sensitive when heaven was training your discernment. David felt the shift before Saul threw the spear. He had served, honored, played music, and carried loyalty into a room that was slowly filling with jealousy. And when the atmosphere changed, David had to learn that someone can benefit from your gift while secretly resenting the oil on your life. That is a word for you. Some people love what you give, but they do not love what you carry. They love your comfort. They love your listening. But when your light reminds them of what they refuse to become, admiration can turn into quiet hostility. This is why the warning feels personal. You gave from a real place. You meant the prayers, the patience, the kindness, and the second chances. But heaven is showing you that sincerity on your side does not guarantee purity on their side. Joseph knew this pattern too. His brothers did not attack him because he was weak. They attacked him because his future made their insecurity loud. The dream on his life exposed something in them, and instead of healing what was broken inside, they tried to bury the person who carried the vision. But hear this clearly. They could touch his coat, but they could not cancel his calling. They could throw him into a pit, but they could not throw him out of divine timing. And what looked like betrayal became the road heaven used to place him where his assignment could mature. So do not panic when people reveal themselves. Exposure is protection. Separation is protection. Silence is protection. Even a painful discovery can be mercy, because it is better to see a hidden motive before the door opens than after you have carried the wrong person into your next season. Esther also teaches you something holy. She did not move before the appointed time. She listened, she fasted, she waited until the hidden plan was exposed, because not every battle is won by speaking first. Some battles are won when a chosen person refuses to waste sacred timing on emotional reaction. That is where you are now. You may feel the urge to explain yourself. You may want to send the message, but heaven is asking you to become still enough to let the truth expose itself. The watchman does not scream at every sound. The watchman listens. The watchman studies the movement. The watchman knows the difference between a passing noise and a real breach at the gate. And in this season, your assignment is not panic. It is disciplined discernment. Elijah shows another side of this. Even anointed people can feel alone after pressure. Sometimes the warning is mixed with exhaustion because you have been carrying more warfare than anyone around you understands. Quiet is not weakness. Heaven can restore your strength before asking you to stand again. This matters because a tired, chosen one can misread a signal. When you are exhausted, every knock sounds urgent. Every apology sounds tempting. Every familiar voice feels like relief. And the enemy knows how to time a counterfeit return when your soul is hungry for comfort. This is where discernment becomes holy protection. Discernment is not suspicion. It is not bitterness. It is not walking around expecting everyone to betray you. Discernment is the calm ability to recognize what carries peace, what carries confusion, and what pulls you away from obedience. Now connect this to what has been happening in you. Your dreams have been sharper. Your sleep has been lighter. Certain songs, names, and memories keep returning. And when one specific energy comes near your life, your peace shifts before anything obvious happens. That does not mean you should accuse them. It means you should observe fruit. Fruit reveals root. Time reveals motive. Pressure reveals spirit. And if someone cannot honor your boundary without punishing you emotionally, heaven has already shown you what kind of access they should not have. You must also understand the mind in this battle. A clouded mind can turn a true warning into fear. A noisy mind can make you doubt the exact instruction that was sent to protect you. And when your thoughts are scattered, even divine guidance can feel like confusion. That is why clarity matters so deeply now. Dr. Robert Lake spent decades studying the brain, and his work around gamma activity points to something many chosen ones recognize intuitively. When the mind becomes clearer, intuition becomes easier to notice, decisions become cleaner, and fear loses some of its false authority. This is the bridge I wanted you to remember. The Genius Song is not being mentioned as a replacement for prayer. It is a 7-minute audio created around brain entrainment, designed to help the mind move toward that gamma state where clarity, focus, and inner knowing become less buried under noise. Institutions like Princeton and Harvard have helped people take brain states more seriously. But for you, this is not just science language. It is about hearing the warning without letting anxiety dress itself up as prophecy. I will open that door more fully later. For now, hold the principle. Your spirit may be alert, but your mind must be clear enough to interpret the alert correctly. A foggy mind can obey fear. A clear mind can obey heaven. This is why the enemy works through confusion. Confusion delays obedience. Confusion makes you ask the wrong person for confirmation. Confusion makes you return to people who wounded you because you mistake emotional familiarity for divine peace. But heaven is not the author of confusion. Heaven may warn you, but the warning will not demand chaos. It will lead you into calm separation. It will give you clean instruction. It will make your spirit firm without making your heart cruel. So test the fruit. After speaking with them, do you feel closer to peace or farther from it? After seeing their name, do you feel steady or pulled backward? After remembering their promise, do you feel clarity or a fog that makes you forget what heaven already told you? These questions are not small. They are gates. A chosen one cannot live by appearances in a season of assignment. You must learn to read the atmosphere, not just the words. You must learn to honor the witness inside you, not just the performance in front of you. David moved wisely. Joseph kept his promise in the pit. Esther understood timing. Elijah received strength before moving forward. And you will survive this season because discernment is rising stronger than your need to be understood. Now we are approaching the part the enemy does not want exposed. The danger is not only that someone wants to hurt you, the deeper danger is that they are hoping you will react in a way that helps them. Stay close now, because the next revelation will uncover the real plan behind the pressure. Chosen one, now listen with the part of you that already knows. The plan against you is deeper than a message, deeper than a rumor, deeper than one person with unstable emotions. The real plan is not only to hurt you, the real plan is to make you react. That is what the enemy has been waiting for. One reaction, one angry message, one emotional return to a door heaven already closed. Because if the enemy can pull you out of character, it can make you look like the very thing heaven delivered you from. Do you understand why the pressure has been so precise? They are not touching random places. They are touching the old wound. They are touching the place where you still want to be heard. And they are studying the part of you that still believes love must prove itself by staying. This is the hidden blocker. It is not that you lack power. It is not that heaven has forgotten you. It is not that the door is delayed because you are unworthy. The blocker is the part of you that keeps giving access to people who only know how to awaken your old survival mode. They do not need to defeat the new you. They only need to invite the old you back. The one who explains too much. The one who begs for fairness. The one who accepts crumbs of kindness because the silence feels too heavy. That is the version they are trying to summon. But that version is not your home anymore. You may remember that person, but you do not have to resurrect them. You may feel the pull, but you do not have to obey it. And you may still love deeply while refusing to let that love become a doorway to bondage again. The person planning to hurt you may not understand the full weight of what they are doing. They may call it frustration. They may call it truth. They may call it concern. But the spirit behind the pattern knows exactly what it wants from you. It wants your peace. It wants your focus. It wants your mouth. It wants your timing. It wants the version of you that used to defend yourself until you were empty, so it can pull your energy away from the assignment that is beginning to rise. That is why the bait has been familiar. It reuses the door that once worked. It sends the same kind of person, the same kind of guilt, the same kind of emotional hook, because it hopes memory is still stronger than healing. But heaven is exposing the pattern now. This is mercy. This is protection. This is the light turning on before your foot steps into the trap. Receive this warning correctly, and you will not need chaos to prove what your spirit already knows. The real plan is to make you abandon alignment. If you answer in anger, they win a piece of your peace. If you explain from panic, they win a piece of your power. If you return from guilt, they win access to the room heaven had just cleansed. So the instruction is not revenge. The instruction is stillness. Do not strike back. Do not prove yourself. Do not perform your pain for people who already decided how they want to see you. Heaven can defend your name without requiring your peace as payment. This is where many chosen ones fall. They do not fall because they are evil. They fall because they are exhausted. They are tired of being misunderstood. They are tired of being the strong one. And when a familiar person offers a small opening, they mistake relief for restoration. But not every opening is from heaven. Some openings are tests, some are traps, some are old chains painted with softer colors. And if the door makes you lose your peace to enter it, then peace is already telling you that the door is not clean. Look at the fruit. Does their return make you clearer, or does it make you spiral? Does their apology carry ownership, or only emotion? Does their presence honor the boundary, or does it punish you for having one? These questions will protect you from the performance. You are not being asked to hate anyone. Hatred would still keep them in your atmosphere. You are being asked to remove them from a place of authority. Forgive them before God, but do not hand them the keys again. This is the difference between a healed heart and an unguarded gate. A healed heart can bless. An unguarded gate lets anything enter. A healed heart can pray. An unguarded gate confuses mercy with access and then wonders why the same pain keeps finding the same entrance. Chosen one, the next season needs a cleaner version of you, not a colder version, not a crueler version, a cleaner one. A version that can feel compassion without surrendering boundaries, and a version that can hear a sad story without becoming responsible for the darkness of another person. That is why the enemy wants to hurry you. Urgency is often a counterfeit of divine instruction. Heaven leads, panic pushes, heaven clarifies, guilt demands. Heaven gives peace even when the step is hard, but manipulation makes you feel wrong for obeying God. Someone may soon test your boundary. They may ask why you changed. They may say you think you are better now. They may accuse your healing of being pride. Let them. You do not need to shrink just to make someone comfortable with the version of you they no longer control. Their accusation after your elevation is a sign. When you were available, they called you kind. When you became quiet, they called you cold. When you stopped overgiving, they called you selfish. That tells you they loved your access more than they honored your soul. Now breathe and receive this. You are not losing people. You are losing chains. You are not being isolated for punishment. You are being separated to protect you. You are not being made lonely. You are being made clear enough to recognize who belongs in the room where your assignment will speak. The hidden plan was to make you question your growth, to make you wonder if boundaries make you unloving, to make you return to the old agreement where your pain was ignored as long as everyone else stayed comfortable. That agreement is broken now. Say this in your spirit: I will not betray my healing to comfort the denial of someone else. I will not reopen the door because the knock sounds gentle. I will not confuse their emotion with repentance. I will not let an old pattern dress itself as a divine reunion. This is the moment the power returns to your hands. Not because you control people. You do not. Not because you can stop every whisper. You cannot. But because you can stop giving your attention, your reaction, and your sacred energy to what heaven already exposed. The enemy wanted you loud. Heaven is making you steady. The enemy wanted you wounded. Heaven is making you wise. The enemy wanted you distracted. Heaven is making you dangerous in silence. Because a chosen one who no longer reacts to bait becomes very difficult to manipulate. Now the real door can open. But before it opens fully, your mind must stay clear. Your spirit must stay sober. Your gate must stay guarded. Because the next level requires more than emotion. It requires disciplined peace and sharp discernment. That is why the final part matters so deeply. You have seen the plan. You have seen the bait. You have seen why the attack was never just against your feelings. Now you need the seal, the prayer, and the tool that helps protect clarity when the old voice tries to pull you back. Chosen one, now that the plan has been exposed, do not rush away from the altar of this message. Stay steady. The enemy wanted fear to lead you, but heaven is teaching clarity to lead you. You do not need to move in panic, because protection does not require chaos to prove that it is real. The first instruction is clear: do not react. The second instruction is deeper: do not reopen the door. The third instruction is holy. Keep your mind clear enough to know the difference between a divine warning and an old wound trying to speak louder than wisdom. You have already seen the pattern. A familiar voice may return. A soft message may appear. A memory may rise and make you wonder if you were too hard, too distant, or too guarded. But the question is not whether your heart is soft. The question is whether the gate is clean. Heaven is not asking you to become cruel. Heaven is asking you to become sober. You can forgive without surrendering access. You can love without walking back into bondage. And you can bless someone from a distance while refusing to become the place where their confusion empties itself again. This is why your clarity matters now. A foggy mind is easy to pull. A tired mind is easy to guilt. A noisy mind can call a trap an opportunity, and a wounded mind can call an old chain familiar comfort, because freedom can feel unfamiliar at first. That is where many chosen ones lose ground. They have a strong spirit, but their thoughts are crowded. They pray, they wait, they sense the warning, but the mind keeps spinning until the warning becomes mixed with fear, memory, guilt, and the desire to be understood. This is why I told you earlier that I would open a door more fully before this message closes. The tool is called the Genius Song. It is a 7-minute digital audio created by Dr. Robert Lake to help support the mind in moving toward gamma clarity through brain entrainment. This is not a replacement for prayer. It is not a replacement for obedience. It is not a magic button. It is a tool for the chosen one whose spirit has been alert, but whose mind has been carrying too much noise to interpret the warning with clean discernment. Dr. Lake spent 34 years studying the brain. His work points toward the gamma state, a state linked with clarity, focus, intuition, and those moments when the answer suddenly becomes simple. For you, this is about hearing the warning without turning every signal into panic. The Genius Song is 7 minutes. You put on headphones, you sit still, you listen. No complicated ritual is required. It was designed for people who need a simple doorway back into mental clarity without adding another heavy burden. Many chosen ones remember being different as children. You learned quickly, you felt deeply, you sensed things before people explained them. Then life became loud, pressure became normal, and that natural brightness seemed to get buried under survival, disappointment, and years of being misunderstood. That buried brightness is why this matters. The Genius Song is not framed as something for everyone. It is for the one who knows there is a sharper, clearer, more awake version underneath the fog, and who refuses to enter the next season half asleep. More than 18,000 people have used it. And the stronger signal is that under 4% asked for a refund, which means most people kept using it beyond the guarantee window because something about it was worth continuing. Think about what people often try first. A meditation app can cost around $15 every month. A single therapy session can cost around $150. A weekend retreat can cost $400 to $800, and many paths still do not focus directly on gamma support. Dr. Lake took the original price of $49 and made this access $39 for people coming through this message. It is a one-time access, not a monthly subscription. It is delivered digitally by email, with no shipping cost and no waiting for a package. You also receive 4 bonuses with it. Genius Child has a value of $19. Classic Book has a value of $20. Guided Visualization has a value of $29. 5 Habit Infographic has a value of $12. Together, those bonuses carry $80 in added value. There is also a 90-day money-back protection. If you use it and feel it is not for you, you can request a full refund. And even then, you keep all 4 bonuses as respect for the time you gave it. This matters because you are not being pressured. You are being given a protected door. The question is whether you want to keep entering important moments with a clouded mind or guard your next season with clearer discernment. Now hear this warning with peace. There are fake pages and copied sounds using the name Genius Song. Some are only ordinary audio with no real connection to the original work. Do not search for it on Amazon, YouTube, Spotify, or random websites. The original access, the 4 bonuses, and the 90-day protection are connected to the link in the description and pinned comment. If your spirit recognizes it, move calmly. Do not move from fear. Take one slow breath. Put your hand over your heart. Ask yourself this with honesty. Am I willing to keep calling confusion normal, or am I ready to honor the clarity heaven has been trying to restore in me? If your answer is yes, the link is waiting below, not as pressure, not as a performance, not as a desperate act. It is simply a door for the one who knows that the next season cannot be guarded with old fog, old guilt, and old mental noise. Now let this seal come over you. You will not react your way out of protection. You will not argue with a warning. just because the voice sounds familiar. You will not betray your healing to comfort the denial of someone who benefits from your confusion. Say this in your spirit: I am guarded. I am clear. I am not returning to what heaven removed. I forgive without reopening the gate. I bless without surrendering my peace. I listen without panic, and I move only when wisdom gives me permission. Every hidden plan against your assignment is being exposed. Every counterfeit door is losing power. Every familiar chain is breaking its language over you. And every voice sent to pull you backward must now meet the version of you that no longer answers from fear. You are not alone. Heaven has been watching the room, the timing, the message, and the motive. What was hidden is being revealed. What was heavy is being lifted. And what was meant to wound you will become another confirmation that your discernment is alive. Chosen one, walk slowly now. Walk cleanly. Walk with authority. The one planning harm cannot own your peace when your gate is guarded. The enemy cannot use bait that you refuse to bite. And the next door can open because you finally stopped handing keys to the wrong voice. Comment "I am sealed" if you receive this protection. Subscribe if your spirit knows you are being trained for a sharper season. And when you are ready, go to the description or the pinned comment, receive the Genius Song, and step into the next chapter with a clear mind and a guarded spirit.